All right, please excuse the huffing and puffing, but I'm undoing some bodgy work here. So there's the underbench range hood that was mounted in this range hood cabinet. Now, I want you to notice something. So you can do a kitchen for 9 grand and for 50 grand, and those kitchens can look, sorry, no, 9 grand's too cheap. 20 grand and 50 grand, and those two kitchens can look exactly the same. There's differences all the way along, and one classic example is appliance cabinets. So what you've got here is a cabinet with 2 sides, a top, a back, and no bottom. And there was a shelf there, which was actually just sitting on top of that range hood. Now that range hood's casement screws that go into the side of the cupboard are designed purely to hold the weight of the range hood and nothing else. Here the range hood was, number one, holding the cabinet together because it had no base. So the range hood is now structural. Number two, holding that shelf and everything that was on top of it down as well. The appliance, the seal kit was never installed. So this was installed as a recirculating unit. It was never ducted out. And there's the ceiling there, and there's the outside of the building there, with full stand-up height cavity access, laziest install ever. So it was just venting straight out to the shelf here. The shelf was not fixed in any way, so it's flapping around in the breeze. So that seal you see there was doing nothing. So we've got mould growing. Where's the mould growing? In the recirculating fan unit, which is picking up that mould and blowing it all through your house, right over your cooktop where you're cooking your food. By contrast, when I build one of these cabinets, the cabinet is fully self-supporting. It has a base with a precise cutout for the range hood. It has a structural front and a structural top and a structural box around the flue, and then it's vented outwards. So the unit that encases the range hood itself is fully structural self-supporting. Then it's going into a self-supporting fully structural unit as well. Cost difference, this is a $90 cabinet. Mine would be a $600 cabinet. Installation time here, 30 minutes one man. Installation time for mine, maybe 2 hours for 2 guys, plus how long it takes you to duct it. So that's just one aspect of a cheap install versus a proper install. This is not to building code, this is not to joinery code, and if you had a fire and it was found to be here, your insurance will be void because none of the appliance manufacturer standards have been followed. Australian standards haven't been followed. You'd be on your own. If this thing burnt your entire house down, and even if it wasn't the fault of the joinery, the insurer will look for the weakest link. So good on you, you saved a few grand and now your whole house is not insured.